See, I had heard your video which you had sent it before that also, this mind का जो था ना,
Yeah.
वो कि आपने भेजा था, वो भी मैंने सुना. And yesterday's these things are there, Anil has explained. But let me tell you one thing, that what you have done is a wonderful job. Even the Yoga Sutra teachers are unable to understand all these things are there. I'm telling you, very honestly, because I have met many people and other things are there. So in that connection, but how our, like a guru or somebody has taught us this mind consciousness concept, intellect concept is through the story part of it. You look at how they have taught us through the story part of it, through some kind of a narrative is there. All these things they have taught us. Right?
Yes.
So if you will incorporate that, people will get interested into that. And I tell you, the team which we are creating, they want, and we understand one thing, you have reached to the PhD, and we are going to teach the kindergarten students.
Yes.
That is our difficulty.
Yes.
So this bridge, you have to create that, make and toys by which they get interested in this kind of a wisdom. Without that, their professional life will not have any roots into that.
Right.
Right? Okay, so that's the only thing I want to tell you. Now, can I start your introduction?
Yes.
Welcome to Bharatiya Paramparik Gyan podcast series, graciously hosted by Dhwani Shah at the Dwarkadhish Holistic Center and Bharatiya Paramparik Gyan Vigyan Samaj Cuttack. In this prestigious lineup of enlightening dialogues, we are thrilled to introduce Dr. Vipin Gupta, a luminary who intersects the revered corridors of ancient Indian wisdom with an analytical avenues of modern day science. His work serves as a bridge between past understanding and the future possibilities, offering a fresh perspectives on old age teachings. Today's conversations plunges into a profound concept of Arhatva, the qualification of consciousness. With an air of scholarly eloquence, Dr. Gupta will dissect the profound connections that knit together our mind, intellect, and body, reflecting the universal ties of a creator, creation, and creature. He will masterly align these ancient philosophies with a contemporary educational methodology, offering a unique insight that are particularly resonant for an educator and a student in this modern epoch. This insightful elaboration is designed to not only inform but also transform the pedagogical landscape, prepare to navigate through esoteric to the imperial, to interrogate and internalize the profound tenets of our being. We invite you to step onto a path less traveled, exploring the foundational truth of our existence and consciousness, insightfully charted by Dr. Gupta's exceptional narrative prowess. I would like you to narrate that how you got interested in such type of things, such wisdom. We know that many things are taught to us into our families without even our knowing through the stories and other things are there. But how your inspiration has come for this kind of a self-study kind of things which was not given into the educational syllabus.
Very good. So it is said that there are three kripas that we need for us to get into any journey. One, we need Ishwar kripa. The second, we need a Guru kripa. And the third, we need a Swam kripa. So unless all three kripas align, we are not able to get into a new journey. And so this journey is really a new journey in my life, and all three elements are very important. And the most important is, of course, the Guru Kripa, as Indian tradition emphasizes. And right from my early childhood, I was exposed to the concepts of spirituality and divinity because of the blessings of my father's teacher. And my father's teacher was a divine personality. He was my father's professor at IIT Kharagpur. So he was very scholarly, and my father did his engineering in agriculture. And my father reconnected with him in late 1970s, and at that time I was just about 10 years old. And so at that time my father understood the divine powers of this Guruji, whose name is Shri Kartar Singh Yadav. And at that time, Shri Kartar Singh Yadav ji had become the Joint Commissioner of Ministry of Agriculture. So my father was spending now 24/7 with him because Yadav Saab, whenever he, I'll give you just a couple of examples. If he would visit any of the Siddhs in India, any of the sadhus or Siddhs, immediately all of them will invite him to sit next to him as soon as he entered the door. And they could sense his divinity. And many of them told him in my presence that they are not even dust of his feet. And if somebody is dead, he would say, get up, and that person will be awake immediately. If somebody has a cancer, with his touch, one touch, immediately there is no cancer. The doctors check just 5 minutes later, and there is not a single trace of cancer. And for instance, in the ear or any other place. I also shared an example with you earlier that once we were going to Dwarkadhish in Mathura from Delhi, and our car ran out of petrol, and he just asked my father to get some water to put in the engine, and after that the car ran without petrol for 7 days. Now Kartar Singh Yadav ji's philosophy was that pradarshan se darshan nahi hote. So what he said was that in my previous births I already made a lot of followers. This birth I don't want any follower at all. And I'm here for fulfilling a purpose, and that's what I'm doing. And so essentially he took the role of a guide rather than a guru. Guru is a guider. A guider is a guide with responsibility. But a guide is one who puts the responsibility on the sadhak. And does not assume responsibility for sadhak's well-being unless the sadhak is also devoted to his own well-being or her own well-being. So if the sadhak demonstrates that I am that sadhan for my well-being, and my well-being means it has to be aligned with the universal well-being, because your well-being cannot be disconnected with the well-being of the entire cosmos. And so when you have that clarity in your mind, that's when he takes 100% responsibility. Otherwise, he won't. And so he had many sadhaks, but he maintained a very strict regime and asked everybody to take responsibility. And that's how essentially I got into this. He is the one who sent me to do PhD in the field of management. And then since last 6 years, I have now been working on this area of divinity, a science of spirituality and divinity, and essentially connecting modern sciences with ancient wisdom of India as well as other countries, with an eye to how to take it forward. Because one of the important aspects is that a lot of ways in which we interpret wisdom of India, that's colored by or polluted by interpretations by different people who had different motivations. And as a result, the meanings of the terms and their value has been lost and has been transformed. And therefore, it's very important to show how they all fit together and how they align with modern sciences, to show the limitations of modern science, and to take the knowledge further using the foundation which was created by our ancient sages, rather than assuming that those foundations are the final. Those foundations are just the building blocks for us to build upon. And if we take that perspective, then we can make our own contributions to those blocks, rather than saying that we are just the consumers of those that knowledge that we are now sort of recycling for our children.
Yeah, yeah. So very nicely, you have put up the things that we are here to play, and to live, your Guruji has said very clearly, this life, I'm not here to create any kind of followers, but I have come here for a certain purpose, and every individual has a certain unique purpose for on this universe is there. So if we understand that purpose, and that understanding can come through the self only, it cannot be given by the others. So that also you have said very clearly through the examples of your guru. That I am IIT professor, agriculture, fine. Okay, this is my role, this is how I am living, and that living example has given an inspiration to many people to live the life whatever they are living into the world. But don't forget what is your purpose of the life is that. So very nicely you have put it up, and with that we will go for a few questions which generally commonly nowadays a lot of people has it, but they don't know how to get the access of that. So Dr. Gupta, could you elaborate on how the mind network the body to the exchange of the intellect's light with the consciousness sound, creating our destiny? And I will prefer you give the answer in a way that people will get motivated to understand how these things are there available to us, and we should not forget about it also.
Very good.
Right?
So essentially your question is about the correlation between mind, body and intellect. And
Yes.
It's a question about how mind, body and intellect coordinate, and they work to create our destiny. People are aware that we have a mind. We are all aware that we have a brain. Brain has an intellect, and then we have a body. And so what happens is that these three coordinate, and they work to create our destiny. Now it's in our hands. If we are managing our own ourselves, the work of our mind, intellect and body, then we become the creators of our destiny. Or we can let our mind, brain and intellect, our mind, brain and body work to create our destiny. So it's up to us that how we manage our life. So let me explain. What mind does, mind exchanges the work of the intellect to network the body with consciousness of the smell of reality. So the very first thing the brain does when it observes any reality or hears any reality or smells any reality is to smell it. Smell is the very first activity which happens in the brain. Why smell? Because if you are breathing, for instance, so we say we breathe the air, but breathing the air, how brain processes that breathing is through the oxygen element. That oxygen element has a physicality. That physicality is the earth element. We know that the nature, the essence of earth element is smell. If we are hearing a sound, again that sound has vibrations, and that vibration has a physicality. The physics can see that those vibrations are traveling. So again that vibration has a physicality, and therefore it has a earth element. So smell is the way the body realizes the reality of the physical world. Or the intellect, the mind realizes that physicality. The intellect processes that, and then mind sort of perceives that reality from the work that has been conceived by the intellect.
Yeah.
Okay. And so whatever reality we are smelling, we become conscious of that reality. And so when we become conscious of that reality leaves an effect. It forces us to be aware of that, to experience that reality, that we are becoming conscious. So that force coming out of that conscious element is called consciousness.
Yeah.
So consciousness means a state of being conscious. So effect of being conscious.
Yeah.
So
Dr. Gupta, what I have understood from your this saying is that our mind has certain capacity. Everybody knows about it through the memory or whatever it is that. Brain has an intellect and the body is the responding instrument is that.
Right.
And we are getting the instinct from the smell part of it, means the breathing part of it. Now, if I will take these things into the day-to-day lives, the incidents, then, it will be like this, that before I act, okay, we have a time to respond or the react if we are connected with that smell of the mind which has been sent to us, or the reality of the smell which we can feel it. So we can keep aside our emotions also, right?
Very good. So that two things. So if you go to any divine place, right? If you go to, for instance, a temple or a place where there are a lot of positive energy, we associate that with good smell. So Sugandh is associated with divinity.
Yes.
That's one. The second, we know that dogs have a very strong sense of smell.
Yes.
And so the dogs are immediately able to sense not only the physicality of the things, but also the supernaturality. If there is invisible elements, the dogs are the ones who are able to immediately sense that. So it's very important that we surround ourselves with good smell. And we stay away from the bad smell. If the bad smell is coming out of our body, that means that there's a degeneration happening in our body, and our consciousness is going in the descending order.
Okay.
So that smell of reality that is in our consciousness, that's actually called phenomenal consciousness by the scientists, modern day scientists, because it is a consciousness of the phenomena our mind intended to experience before becoming mindful of its reality.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a intended consciousness, because our mind already has intention that we visualize that reality, because that intention was created based on our past experiences. So unless we intend to see something, we are not going to see something. If we intend to see the sky, that's when we are going to raise our head and see the sky.
Yes.
So if there is no intention to see the sky, then we can be walking and somebody would say that was sky above, and you say, I didn't even notice.
Yes.
Right. So then what happens is that the mind, when this phenomenal consciousness has been created, then the intellect works to access the light of that consciousness as the access consciousness. Okay, but what is it's trying to access? It's trying to access that light. Why? Because it's mindful of the taste of ego tended by that experience. So that ego is the discordant force. So it's the force that we have created that reality. So when we desire to create a reality, we send a discordant force, because the desire creates discordance between our state of equanimity, where we are happy with what we have, and a wish that we want to create a different state. We want to experience a different reality. I want to be a different one, who has now this consciousness that I didn't have earlier. So the source of that is, the very first step is ego. So unless there's an ego, and the ego has a taste. So it's a salty taste. Okay, so the mind is already aware of the taste of ego, because taste is a element coming out of water, and consciousness is also coming out of water. So because we know that water has consciousness. A lot of experiments have been done by Japanese and others, saying that if you utter the words Om, then immediately the water becomes beautiful.
Yes.
And if you tell the water that you are dirty, immediately the vision of that water, when you use all the microscope and everything, it's very dirty.
Yes.
So water is the source of consciousness. That's why our body is mainly made of water.
Yes.
So because just like water flows, the consciousness also flows. So the nature of both of them are same. So consciousness is actually called water effect. It's an effect that water leaves when it flows. And therefore the consciousness becomes a stock, and that stock of consciousness is called soul.
Okay. Yeah. So with that, can we go for the next question?
Sure.
That how does the concept of weakening correlations between the God, the universe, and the self affects the understanding of the personal destiny and the divine interconnections? Just slightly you have mentioned in the first question itself, but still, if you can make give us the more understanding about that,
Sure.
will make
Now, just like our mind, intellect, and body are correlated, similarly, the God, universe, and self are correlated. So, as a self, we are creating a universe of relationships. Universe of relationships with various kind of creations that we have done within our mind, and also when we manifest whatever we have desired as a reality outside, we create a universe of relationships with those things outside. So whatever we see, any person we meet, any object that we consume or witness in this life, that's related with our past experiences. So if we have not met anybody in the past, then we are not going to meet that person one-to-one in this life. The law of nature is that if you are similar to others, then you're going to you're going to attract others. So there's a similarity that you created in the past. That's why you came together. That togetherness brought you together. But with that similarity, you left a desire in your consciousness that I want to experience the reality of another. So therefore, that's the strange repulsion that you saw that now you see that person or the object as a different one because you want to embody that difference within you. You want to embody the qualities of that entity within you. So if we suppose we buy a furniture, in general, what would happen is that furniture has been created by you in some form in the past lives. Maybe you sow the seed that grew the tree, and that tree then was regenerated through many generations, and the essence of that seed that you sow at that time is the one which is in this wood, in the furniture that you're consuming. Or you were the wood crafter in the past and you cut that wood, and therefore you left your essence in that wood. Similarly, the person that you're meeting, you have met them all the time. But that's not, we are not limited only to those. Because suppose we are in a classroom. So in a classroom, the school decides who they want to put in there. So maybe the teacher is the one who is connected with all the children. But the children may not be connected to one another in past lives. There is a para-deity, para-entity. The teacher becomes like a god. So the teacher is the one who has a universal relationship with everyone. As a result, now everyone's relationship with each other is also now strengthening. And so we are reliving our past relationships in new forms, but also we are now creating new relationships as a result of the mediation of other entities that we have met in the past.
Yes.
Okay. So as a result, our connections are growing, and so so when we are creating this universe as an entity, then entities within that universe, for them we become a god, because we are the god who have created that universe. Right? And that god and universe is an extension of ourself. And that self is really a conscious system. So it's a conscious system, conscious that we are the ones who have become god of the universe that we have created. But we are not that god, we are not that universe, we are not that self. We are neither of the, we are none of those three. Those three are in a way our, so if we see ourselves as an almighty creator, then the god is the creator, the universe is the creation, and the self is the creature who is enjoying the creation.
Yes.
Okay, so that's why we say that even that almighty creator potential is within us, because we are that almighty creator of these three entities.
Yeah. Here, can I ask you one question also?
Sure.
Or, my understanding about what you have said. Okay, if we will consider that and we will come down to our own self, that how this creator creations and the universe is, or the God is connected with each other in a way that we are living into the family. Okay, so we have one kind of a relationship. When we will have the larger picture of the past life and the future life, that will make very clear when we will come down to our own families. That when we were a child, we were having a relationship, very close relationship with our siblings and the parents and other people like that. Right? But when we grew up, we had started, having the friends in the schools, and the other relationship has started, extending, depending upon our interest and the intellectual, how we have grown up with that. And when we grow further and we create our own family, if we expand that into the larger picture, then it will, make us, if you will explain in that manner, it will be very easy for us to understand in that way, Doctor.
Yes, very good, Dhwani. So you have raised a very important point. The important point is to what extent our past lives and the discordant forces we have created, which is destiny, predestines how we live our life in this life, versus the choice that we have. Right? So education is the mechanism through which we develop consciousness, awareness about what is appropriate for our well-being and what is not appropriate for our well-being.
Yes.
Because our well-being is connected with the well-being of the whole society, it's connected with the well-being of the whole humanity, it's connected with the well-being of the whole ecology, the nature, it's connected with the well-being of the whole economy, it's connected with the well-being of the nation, and then it's connected with the well-being of ourselves as in terms of our psychological health.
Yes.
So unless we are conscious, so education makes us conscious of oneness among these different elements of well-being.
Now, but here my whole question was that as our internal internalizing ourselves, or our introspection increases, according to that we start creating our small ways, like a friends, or from the families. We have no choices, that is given to us by the through our birth has been given. But as we grow with the education and internalize ourselves, we create our friends which are totally different, having a different thinking and different environment themselves. With that, we still grow further, and when we create our own family, we see that there is some kind of a difference when our parent has brought up us, and when we are creating our family, it has got a certain difference, is that it has got a certain kind of an insight is change a lot to create our own environment. In that context, I was just talking to you.
Sure. So now in the Western divinity and Western religions and the philosophy, the focus is on extroversion. In the Eastern tradition, the emphasis has been on introspection. So you mentioned about introspection. Now, the extroversion creates new desires, because when you're looking at new things consciously, which were not part of your past relationships, then and you're trying to scan the environment and see kind of a beyond kind of a, what things are, then what happens is that you become desiring new things. There are always new desires which are emerging in your mind as a result of that inspiration.
Yes.
That maybe you imagine new things, that maybe I can do this, maybe I should do this, maybe this may happen, what if this happens? So you're scripting new kind of things that we want to live in the future. The introspection is about understanding where we left our journey in the past and continuing that so that we bring it to the finality.
Yeah.
So that we don't add additional things without subtracting things first. Because if we subtract things, then the force of compulsion, the force of destiny dilutes. And when the force of destiny dilutes, then we can, whatever we want to manifest, that will manifest immediately. So the things, if we are working hard and the things are not materializing, the reason is that there are other things which are forcing us to think differently. So what we are doing is not consistent with what we are thinking, is not consistent with what so our thinking, doing and speaking, the words that we are speaking, that's also very different. Okay, so introspection is important, but there's something more than introspection. So we have to go beyond the duality of East and West. We have to go beyond the duality of introspection, extroversion.
Yeah.
Because introspection is also created by first extroversion, then introversion, and then introspection on that introverted reality. So introspection is just a third step after extroversion. So our sages have said that why do we want to start with KG, nursery, when we can start with a high school? So let's start with the introspection, not extroversion. Okay, but we can. But in our tradition, there has also been emphasis on the educator, the teacher, the guru. Why? Because the educator says that you don't even need to introspect on your past reality. That's already gone. Forget about it.
Yes.
So why are you wasting time on introspecting something which has no value? You have to just get rid of the desire to introspect. And then you become aware of yourself and introspect on self. So because if you introspect, you don't know who is the target of your introspection. So once you say that I am not introspecting, then you realize that the target of introspection is the self. And the self is the conscious system. So you are trying to introspect on what we are conscious of. Because if you understand that this is what I am conscious of, you understand that whatever you're conscious is limited. It is limited.
I'm talking of the introspection in terms of that first thing is that we have brought a certain reality through our birth also. With that, we have brought a certain capability in the form of many things. In the one of the form is a desire is that, and our sages has never denied that desire. On the contrary, they says that unless you have a desire, you cannot become you cannot evolve from the human being to the universal self also. That is also has been told by our sages also. So I am talking of the introspection into that relations.
Right.
When we start thinking that this may be our reality is that we don't have to forget that, because from there we have nurtured ourselves, nurtured our bodies, nurtured our sanskar, nurtured our everything. But with that, if we want to expand ourselves, how we can take up our own responsibility as an individual also. And with that, we start creating, a new friends, as you have told that, when you go and then have a new birth, at that time you start attracting the new people. But that starts in this very life itself. That, with the birth, we have a one relationship, and then we start, having the another relationship, and then we start creating our own little world about it. And that is what, I wanted to, ask you. If
Very
my
good.
language was
No.
not correct, okay, so I'm just, correcting myself, not what you are saying, but correcting myself about it.
So you answered the question. So what you're saying is that our self wants to expand our universal self. So our unique self,
Yes.
self want to become universal.
Yes.
So when we want to make friends, what we are trying to do, we are trying to universalize our values. We want to share our own perspectives with our friends.
Yes.
We want everybody to value us.
Yes.
We want everybody to value our authority. And if they're not valuing, then we'll spend limited time. We'll try to understand whatever they are saying. We want to smell the reality of that group, whosoever is criticizing us. And then we want to run away from that group. We don't want to stay in a group forever, which is criticizing us. So we want to just see what we want to grasp, maybe some new learning, and then move to another group where we can share our perspective.
Yes.
So what we are trying to do, we are trying to convert unique self into universal self. So our self, when I say introspect on the self, introspect of the self, when our rishis introspected on the self, they realize that their self is trying to, the desire of that self is to create a universal self. So the self is creating a universe. Why the self is creating the universe? Because then you become the one entity that everybody in that universe, you are the center, the attraction for that universe. So who is the center of attraction for the universe? Who is the creator of that universe? You are the creator of that universe. So therefore you are the god of that universe. That universe values you as a person who transcends that universe, right? So that's the relationship. But then what happens is that this relationship weakens as we also become part of that universe, because others are also trying to copy us. If everybody is trying to copy and they are trying to share their values, and they want to us not to go by live our own values, but to live by their values. So if we want fresh food, the processed food companies are advertising that our processed food is as good because it saves time. They want to embrace their values. Now they say that their values are better. Why their values are better? Because that values them, that creates value for them. It creates economic value for them. It creates social value for them. They become the topmost companies. If you decide not to eat processed food, then their value will be reduced. But if you try to consume their value, whatever value they are telling you, and you leave your values, okay, your value was I will live fresh life, I will eat fresh food. Now they're saying no, you should. It's okay, you can refrigerate it. What's the problem? All your friends are telling you the same thing. The universe that you created is now, because it has a discordance from you. You have become the god. They also want to now become the god. So now they are using values that you don't have, and they're trying to market that to you, saying that those values are the ones that you should go. Why are you? Your values are the old-fashioned. These are the new values. The universe has the new values. God has old values. Okay. So as a result, what happens? You, as the god of that universe, now become part of that universe. Yourself begins changing. Your conscious system begins changing of what it is conscious of as reality.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, got it. Yeah. Very nicely you have told we have to become aware of our codependency pattern, and from that we have to just make it sure that we have to come out of that codependency pattern. And another thing is the mind is a beautiful tool. Okay, if we utilize it, okay, we will become the master of the mind. But if mind will utilize us, we will become the slave of that. What, in a nutshell, if I have understood that, Is it right, Dr. Gupta?
Absolutely. So the nature of mind and the intellect is different.
Yes.
The nature of mind is to move the mood like time. So therefore, mind is always thinking of new things. While it wants to evolve into new things, but the intellect gets engaged in whatever thing we put it into task. So suppose
Yes.
you are playing a game, our brain is always thinking, how can I win? So it's trying to think of new things, but mind is thinking, oh, I have work to do. I have maybe this responsibility is there. I have this element. So mind is distracting you.
Yes.
So
Yeah, that's why I'm telling you, if we use our mind, mind is a beautiful servant. And if mind is using us, okay, and we become a slave, then mind is a worst master. So we have to be master of our mind. We should know that it is a beautiful resource and utilize as a resources. So our intellect can give us the command to act into the reality part of it.
Right. So that's why our sages have given tools like meditation, yoga,
Yes.
sadhana, right, or even concentration. So as a student,
Mantras, many things that they had given, each and every moment,
Exactly.
the action can be brought into the awareness part of it, and that is what the Gita is telling.
Yeah, but as a student, somebody doesn't have to go with meditation and other things. All the focus is that can you concentrate in whatever you're doing. So if your concentration is strong, then you have controlled your mind. Because
Yes.
concentration means now you are using intellect to manage your mind.
Yes, true, very true, very true. Okay, so with that, how does the consumption process products influence the mind's evolutions? As you have, explained it, that we had become, like we had become so much addicted with the other people's influence that the consumption process and the products of the mind's evolutions, and what can we mitigate its effect achieved by the balanced state of consciousness. Partly you have explained that how we are becoming a slave of the utility purpose of it, and we are not knowing that really what we are missing it out in our life, like the refrigerator.
Absolutely. So even modern science shows that consuming processed food is the single most important factor detrimentally impacting human health in modern times. Now, processed food is not just the food that we normally associate with; it's also the food
Yes.
for the mind.
Yes.
So when somebody else is processing the values, they're processing thoughts, they're processing objects, they're processing ideas, they're processing theories, and processing wisdom. So even our ancient sages, they have processed a wisdom based on their understanding of the reality.
Yes.
Right. But because they were very focused and concentrated in their mind, therefore they reached a much higher understanding of reality than the modern science, which just looks at one experiment and then goes and publish that result.
Yes.
Right. So there is no concentration. So the concentration is expected by creating a followers who are referencing that first study and then trying to validate whether that's okay or not. There is no concentration by one person. And when different people are adding their own values and trying to validate, then what you get is a khichdi. So it's important that there's a continuity in that concentration. And so a process has been created as a result, and that leads to a product which is of value.
Yes.
Right, which is of original value.
You said very rightly that that what this kind today's education is missing is the values part of it.
Absolutely. So, and that value gets created when you are concentrated on a particular process, and that process then illuminates. Value is just the light. So it's the light at the end of the tunnel. Light at the end of the dark tunnel. When you're concentrating, there's a darkness, and you want to dispel that darkness of the mind with illumination that the intellect is providing with its light.
Yes.
Right. And so therefore it's very important that we use what we have done is, because we are trying to consume our ancient rishis' work. As a result, we ended up saying that work is of no value because we get more enjoyment when we consume the products of the Western scientist.
But this is what has, many people has now realized it, that what we are missing in our education system because of the colonial systems or whatever it is, that we had missed out that value systems in our life. And if because of your study and other things, you know very well that in the ancient times, unless the crown prince has been qualified with the awareness part of it or the concentration part of it, okay, and unless the things which cannot be taught, but if he has learned, then only he will be, recognized as a king of that, destiny. Otherwise, that that if they don't get that kind of qualifications from the master or the certified by the master, they were not giving them the throne of the king also. Yeah, so that will be wonderful. But I will like you to emphasize that where what education system where the values are missing in our life. So if you will emphasize that, the new generation will get an idea that how we have missed out certain things which was available with us. In your view, Dr. Gupta, how do the principle of Arhatva suggest we cultivate and maintain the balance between the mental discipline and physical health in pursuit of the higher consciousness? Very important questions that we are, you will be addressing to the new generation, Doctor.
So values in our ancient times have been identified in two categories. One is intrinsic value, other is extrinsic value. In the modern age, and which has been defined as Kali Yuga, is a dominance of extrinsic value. The extrinsic value means that whatever we don't have, that's what we run after. Whatever we have, we believe that it is of zero value. Because we believe that whatever we have is of zero value, because we are interested in this new thing, therefore we are willing to share whatever we have free of cost with everyone. So right from the very beginning, our ancient rishis have gone abroad and brought students abroad and given free education to everyone. Right. So when we are giving free, why we are giving free? Because we want that extrinsic value of being recognition as a Jagat Guru. So educators have played an important role because they also want to be recognized worldwide by everyone. Why they want to be recognized? Because the people in the country are probably not giving them the recognition. So when people in the country are not giving the recognition, or they have given the recognition, but the ambition of that person is very high, so there could be any issue. Right. So as we seek external validation, the external validation comes at a cost. External validation means that we have made somebody else the judge or the guru, and therefore that person wants Guru Dakshina. Now, if that person wants Guru Dakshina, that means that whatever we have to lose that. And so if we lose whatever we have, then there is no foundation left. We are all running to collect different values from different people. Learn from everyone else. Without taking time to process. So again, it comes down to process. That process is important. If we process whatever food, whatever inputs have been given by others, then process will lead us to that originality that we have lost. That was our natural essential nature. So it's a value which is the conscious value, as I said, conscious value for the society, conscious value of humanity, conscious value of the ecology, conscious value of the economy, conscious value for the nation, and then conscious value for our psychology, that we are part of this world, the universe.
Yes.
Okay, but the first step has to be the conscious value for the society in which we live in.
Yeah, but that is what even is, has been taught in our Vedas very nicely, through the Varna system, through the ashram system,
right.
Okay, model. They have told that the Varna system is not about the caste. It is about what is your nature. You realize that from that your journey will start and you have to reach to the Brahman nature. Brahman nature means becoming in Brahma itself. And in the ashram systems, all the brahmacharya, then the grihastha, vanprastha and the sannyas ashram. Each individual ashram is giving you the values that how the energy at that point of time, at that age you have it, how to utilize it, how to conserve it, and how to grow out of that. Okay, each and every steps of that, and you have to leave that at a particular age, because now you are mature to become a new again. Freshness again has to be brought through the internalizations. And then, these things are there, which nowadays, the people think, as you have told, they are believing into the external validations, and they are missed out that these are the things which is been, has to be internalized and not the externalized, right?
Yes. So you talk about Varna system. So again, the Varna system and the reality that it represented was appropriate for a particular stage of yug and life, and we have to.
Even right now, even the Ramakrishna Paramahamsa has told that everybody is born. When we are born for the survival purpose. We are born as a Shudra, but from that Shudra we have to become and Brahmin. Okay, so it is like the human nature is that because they are coming from the spices of the animal. Okay, till that time everything has been taken care by the nature. Okay, so we are not ready to still take our responsibility. So start taking up the responsibility. That is what my understanding is that.
Okay, so let me finish, and I'm coming to that.
Yes.
Okay, so the very first point is that that there is a wisdom, there is a truth, a kernel of truth in whatever has been spoken, but we have to understand that in a context. So when we talk about that Shudra, so each of these entities, right? So as you mentioned correctly. That our enlightened sages, not all the sages, but our enlightened sages have said that we embody these qualities in ourselves. So we are Shudras, we are Kshatriyas, we are this Vaishyas, and we are the Brahmins.
Yes.
Okay, so let me clarify that. What is Shudra? Shudra is one who is consuming. So a Shudra is one who wants to consume everything. So it's like a tamas gun. Okay,
yes.
So why Shudra wants to consume everything? Because Shudra has that discordant force. Okay, Asura Shakti. Asura means discordance. So that discordant force is there that I desired something. So the Shudra is living a world of desire. So when you desire, then means you want to consume something to fulfill that desire. Okay, so that's the Shudra. Now when you consume something, then you develop a sense that you are actually so you can say that you are suppose a Vaishya. Okay, so the Vaishya means you are a multiplier. So whatever you are consuming, you are now multiplying that reality. Okay, so Vaishya is multiplying the reality. That's why it's a business realm. So they're traders. So what Vaishya are doing? Now they realize that they have already traded. As Shudra, they traded. Consume means trade. You got it from, you imported it from somewhere. Okay, import means you traded that reality. So you have become now a trader. So you have become a trader. That means now you want to service that reality in the future. So you bought it in the past, and you so like -1, and now you want to you are the present, and you want to now make it future. So you have become like number 3. So Vaishya is like number 3. Okay, so when you are now servicing it, you are servicing it to who? A Raja. So Raja is the one who is buying things. So whatever the trader is saying, Raja want to collect that wealth. So Raja becomes the subject, the Kshatriya who is fighting for whosoever is giving me anything, let me get something. Whatever whosoever has whatever, I will get that from that. So Raja is now taxing all the traders as a Kshatriya to own that wealth that the traders are exchanging. okay, own that wealth almost like a deity, as a divine entity, as a nation in that nation. So nation is that that one person. You have personified that knowledge of those workers, traders as workers in that nation. Then what's happening? As a result, you have created a universe. That universe is that Brahmin. The Brahmin is now saying that I now know what led to this reality, and therefore I'm sharing this knowing with everyone. Okay, so those qualities are within us, but again we'll become conscious of these realities only if we don't consume whatever has been given to us as the end. We use this as the basis. So again, let me answer the question. Arhat means a worthy one or a practitioner. Arhatva means a qualification of consciousness of someone to become a worthy one. So what kind of consciousness a person should have so that that become a worthy one? Okay, so it's a qualification of consciousness to produce the characteristics we desire as a creature. Because in order to produce those characteristics, we need to become that practitioner.
Yes.
Okay. Arhata. Okay, not the ta without matra, it's the full ta. So arhat means qualifying. So qualifying that consciousness with our desired characteristics. So qualification is the criteria for evaluating those characteristics as desirable. Qualifying is the conditionality that processes the qualification criteria conditional on the quality parameters to produce an effect free from the condition. Okay, so quality parameters, so there are three qualities which have been emphasized. The three qualities are, as we know, Sattva Guna, Rajas Guna and Tamo Guna. Sattva Guna means discontinuity actually. Sattva means discontinuous and Sattva Guna means discontinuity. So discontinuity of whatever has been done in the past. So that we can continue a new consciousness. So discontinue whatever was inside us. And then you continue, continue means Rajas Gun. So like a Raja is continuing whatever what has been discontinued, whatever the Guru has given. So you discontinue that and you continue now new things based on the guidance of the Guru. Okay, so you're continuing something. The continuous element is Rajas and continuity is the Rajoguna. And then when you continue things as a Raja, then what Praja says is that we have change of Raja all the time, and on different items, different person is Raja. Maybe there is a Raja for wealth, there is a Raja for knowledge, there is a Raja for something else. So there are hundreds of Rajas, and so what we are going to do is we are going to integrate and create an infinite. So we are living in a darkness. Infinite is a primal element, which is a dark element. So their mind goes dark. Tamas means dark. Let's do all of these things without understanding the light as to which one is the appropriate one. Okay, the appropriate one is essentially the finite element. So it's not the infinite element, it's the finite element, which is primordial, Uttam. So that's the Uttam Gun is the one which has been emphasized the most in our. So it's not Sattva Guna, Rajas Guna and Tamas Guna. Because depending on the situation, so a lot of people have enlightened us that all these three gunas are available. They are available in different proportions in our life. But what's important is our understanding of what is the Uttam Guna. Uttam Guna is the finite guna. The finite means for something which is appropriate. It's a quality which is appropriate for that situation. So if that situation demands us to antagonist, to be angry, we become angry. If that situation demands us to laugh, we laugh. If that situation demands us to sort of love someone, we'll love someone. If that situation demands us to kill someone, we'll kill someone. So you see that in the life of Shri Krishna. That depending on the situation, his reaction is changing. But Shri Krishna is the only deity that we know had smile on his face right from the moment he was born and till the moment he departed the earth.
Yes.
He's the only deity that there was smile on his face forever, because he knew the reality. He was not becoming a slave of his emotions. He was demonstrating that gun, Uttam gun, based on the sthiti.
Okay. Now, when you have taken out these things, I think so somebody's, when you have taken out the subject of the Bhagavad Gita, I would like to, say something, that Krishna was laughing because he knew that I am the player of this, in the whole, this universe is there, and I have to play my role in totality. Ram was knowing that his role was a Maryada Purushottam was there. And 1 minute, there is, some kind of distractions is there. Let me see. Hello. Now, am my voice is clear?
Yes, Dhwani, your voice is clear.
Clear? Okay. Now, the Krishna, when he is always smiling, one of the reason is that he says that from internally, the consciousness is so pure, connect yourself with that without any identifications with anything. If you can, live the life, that will be the life of, the non-attachment is there, without any attachment, and that is what is possible. You have to take an action. Whether you have to kill or whether you have to love, everything should be the same for you in a reality, right, Dr. Gupta?
Yeah, so all these expressions are of course different, but it should not affect you as a person.
Yes.
So your reality should remain the same.
Yes. I'm not able to hear you.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that your reality should remain the same, which is the original reality. Your essential nature should remain the same. It should not transform based on the actions that you're doing, because actions that you're doing that are in reaction to the demands of the situation.
Yes, true. So that's what my question was, and you had answered that also. With the Krishna's these things that you have told us. Now, Dr. Gupta, can you share your understanding of how the ancient text articulated and development of the consciousness in the young mind, and what implication this might have for the modern educational curriculum?
Yes. So, as we discussed, that the ancient text should be used as inputs for further research. Then what we do is we continue the work that has been done in the past and make it relevant to the modern times. Because what has happened is that because of various reasons, the continuity of development of the ancient text have been lost. So the ancient texts that we have, they don't belong to only one age. They were created over different times because at different times the sages looked at the past work and they re-evaluated that and presented it in the form which was appropriate for that particular time period. So unless we use the terms and phrases which resonate with the modern minds, we cannot get to the whole reality, and we cannot educate the entire world. Even though we say that we have to live the life of attachment, but there are only two reasons why we take birth. We take birth because we are attached to someone who we want to do something good. So Krishna took birth because he was attached to the universe that he has created. So he is interested in the well-being of the universe that he has created. So he wants to provide that guidance as to how to live your life. If he had no attachment with anyone, then he is not going to take birth. So that's the only reason because he has that attachment, but that attachment is not about taking responsibility for others. That attachment is to guide others and then give others freedom to decide whether they want to take that guidance or not. Okay, you have done your role. So you are the creator. You did your role. You are the Uttam self, and you have done your role in guiding everyone that this is the Uttam way of living life. If you don't want to live life, it's not my problem. I can't do anything.
Yes.
I know that you're going to get killed. You're going to live a life of trouble. So there are a lot of people who didn't listen to Shri Krishna at the time he was living. He didn't go on and explain all the Kauravas that you need to think differently. He knew that he doesn't have that responsibility.
He has not even forced Arjuna when he was taking away. Arjuna was asking him to go away from this Kurukshetra after on the Chakravyu day when Drona was preparing the Chakravyu, and in that process Arjuna has lost his son Abhimanyu.
Right.
He was not forced Arjuna. He was just telling him this is what it is. Bhima has also told, but Arjuna did not listen. Okay, it is your responsibility. Whatever I have to do, I have done.
Right. So that's why he always has smiled that I'm here to guide. I'm not here to take responsibility for everyone. People think that I'm guiding, therefore my guide will take all the responsibility. But no, if I start taking responsibility of everyone, then I don't. Why do I need to create that diversity? I created you because I had a desire that that I live life, different kind of lives.
And beautifully you have explained these things very clearly, that we are not here to take up any responsibility. The codependency pattern is not required, but we are here to share with each other and give other person a freedom and let them decide on their own. If they feel it is fine, if they don't feel it, it is their responsibility.
Yeah, but exactly.
Krishna, you have explained very nicely.
But important aspect is that we can guide and make sure that whatever you are guiding, people are going to act upon it only if we are clear in our guidance. Because if our guidance is not clear and it just becomes our opinion, and then it actually kind of is not in the best interest of the other person to listen to our guidance.
Sure, definitely. I do agree with you. First thing is we need to have a clarity what we are going to speak and whether that things will be helping that person or not, and then give them the guidance and leave it over there. If they want, give a support to that.
Right.
That's all. Right?
Absolutely.
Good. Now, the last, but it is carrying the whole essence of today's session is most intriguing. How might the correlations between the creator, creation, and creature inform our approach to environmental, educational, and sustainability practices within our academic institutions?
Very good.
Though many things you have whispered, but if you can now relate to this, the fundamental issues of today's, that will be,
Very good. So the very first step is to understand that we as a creature are the creator of the creation we are enjoying. So whatever we created in the past, that's the creation, whether the creation of relationships, whether the creation of the child that we created and they are now a part of our life in some way, maybe our friends now or there's something else. So the friends that we created in the past, the enemies that we created in the past. So all that creation was created by us. And the creature is there to enjoy that creation. And then to say that maybe I want to enjoy something else. I want to enjoy the hate. I've already seen everybody's love, and that love is sort of a very restrictive, because that love means that I have to do everything what they're doing. I become emotional. I have to go by their emotions. Therefore, I now want to everybody to hate me, because if everybody hates me, then I don't have to listen to them. I don't get bound by their emotions. Okay, so that hatred is also being projected because we have created that atmosphere for us. So we are consuming the products processed in the past, and because becoming a creator is a process that allows a creator to fulfill the goal of the life. we are all creating a reality that our children can enjoy. Right? And so becoming a creator is a process. Because each one of us has that creative energy. Creative energy has been named as, the creative force is named as Uma. Okay, so we have that infinite creative energy within us. And the goal of life is to create something which is of value to the universe. And the value is because each one of us has our own unique value. Mother Nature has gifted us all unique characteristics. And Mother Nature has given birth to us to bring that unique value to everyone. But instead of bringing that unique value to everyone, we start desiring that we want to consume, we want to become like that singer. We want to become wealthy like that person. We want to become something like that. So all of us are now in the race of becoming rather than being.
Yes.
So if we cannot be who we are, if we cannot enjoy who we are, then we start becoming new things. So if we enjoy who we are, then we can do things which go beyond who we are, because being who we are is about present. So when we say Paramatma means present consciousness. So present consciousness is the one that we must enjoy. If we enjoy present consciousness, then we can go into the potential consciousness. Potential consciousness is something which transcends the present. And what transcends the present through the potential makes us primordial. Primordial means uttam, finite. Parimit. Okay, so it's a primordial element, and when we become primordial, because we are the ones who are potentiating our unique potential, so that we are the finite one. Nobody else has that potential. We have that unique potential. Of course, we have all kinds of potential also. I can be like you. I have a potential to be that. But instead of focusing on a potential to be a Dhwani, if I can focus on potential of being a Vipin, then I can transcend what Vipin has become by consuming all that process by the past process of being a creator. Right? So because we are more than the creator. We are a person, we are a goalkeeper who can keep whatever goal we have. If we see ourselves as a creator, we can be a creator. If we see ourselves as a manifester, we can be manifester. If we see ourselves as a father, we can be father. So it's up to us. We are a goalkeeper. Goalkeeper means Siddh, a conscious entity. It means Shiv. And a goalkeeper's goal is to keep the goal, and the goal is Mahashiv. And when there's a union between Shiv and Mahashiv, we get what we call Mahadurga. And that Mahadurga is also known as Madhusudan. So Madhu means sweet. Sudan means good, Dan or greeter. So what is sweet? Dan is really the primordial greeter. And so the base of Mahadurga is Parvati. Base of Madhusudan is Shri Krishna. And these masculine and feminine elements are two elements which are immanent within nature. So X and Y chromosome are immanent within the characteristic of a creature as a male. That's a masculine element. The X chromosome and Y chromosome. And the mother is the one with X chromosome who is reproducing that X chromosome. So she has a reproductive energy. So therefore she has two X's. And so she has that reproductive force, while the male has that productive force, which is derived from that reproductive force that a female is giving and doing as mother to the child. So if we understand this, then we stop consuming kind of processed foods. We start developing our own gifted potentialities that Mother Nature has given to us. We start realizing that that different entities, different rishis, different entities have developed their own sort of personalities, and they have taken the role of somebody has personified Shiv, somebody has personified different entities. Okay, but the feminine element is what has been gifted by Mother Nature. Mahadurga, Parvati, these are all forms which have been gifted by Mother Nature. They are different forms of energy that Mother Nature has. And so that energy and the potentiation of that energy by different creatures is what the reality of the universe is. And so we can, if we say that we are Shivansh, that means as Shivansh, we have the same potential. The Ansh has the same potential as the Shiv. So if we realize our potential, that if we have our desires in our hands, and we say that whatever desire we have, I am the one who has to use karma marg to fulfill it. Then we get into path of knowing of our desire, so that then that opens up the path through which we fulfill the goal, and then we become devoted to the goal that we have fulfilled, and we become devoted to the goalkeeper as a goalkeeper. So that path of devotion comes from that. Part of devotion to self, which is creating, which is fulfilling that goal. So then it becomes sustainable. If we expect someone else, if we expect Ishwar to solve our problem, if we expect Guru to solve our problem, then it's a problem, because Ishwar and Guru can enlighten us. They cannot solve problems for us. So asking and going in the temple and saying that give me this is itself a problem. You have to say that show me the light, show me the path as to how I can fulfill this. So if we start asking that from the divine entities, then the problem will be solved. Then we will not amplify our expectations, we will not amplify our desires, because we know that we have to work for fulfilling all those desires. Then that's the best way to get rid of the desires.
Sure. Okay. So with that, you have given many of the, still, I'm not saying that, we have got, what you have spoken and really, what it is about it. But still, so many things you have tried to explain to us within the shortest period of time to become our own creator of the life. Okay? You have spoken such beautifully. So I'm really thankful to you for giving us such a wonderful session and enlightening us that what our heritage is and how we can, live that heritage. Yeah. Jindal,
am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah, it was so good to listen to Vipin. Particularly towards the end of the discussion, when he gave us the idea of creation, creator, who is the creator, who is the creation, what is the creation and all. Although my mind is still at a very initial stage of understanding all this, because whatever he spoke was so advanced for me that I may take little more time to understand totally what he's trying to drive at, or what he's trying to what type of knowledge that he's trying to give us. But it was very good. I'm still in my initial stages of understanding the whole thought process.
Yeah, Ms. Jindal, I was telling the same thing to Dr. Gupta, that you are the Christian, we are still in the kindergarten. So understand that, that you have to
That's very true. That's very true. But somewhere in the deepest of my heart and the deepest of my mind, it is very interesting. And I want to know more about it. जिसे कहते हैं ना जिज्ञासा. So he has created that jigyasa, and now we want to know more and more about it. This is what. So I am very thankful to Vipin that he shared his thoughts with us.
Yes, Vipin, will you like to say anything to Ms. Jindal?
No, thank you. That's all I will say. Thank you for being a good listener. And yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Vipin.
Yes, then I will give a thanks giving to Dr. Vipin. Anybody has any question?
No, I think Dhwani, you have done a good job, and you are acting like a conduit somewhere in our mind एक थोड़ी सी एक sparkle हुआ है, and I'm inclined towards it. और अब दिखता है, लगता है कि नहीं, हमें और आगे जाना चाहिए, समझना चाहिए. Thank you very much, Dhwani, for this opportunity that you gave us.
Yeah, thank you very, very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Gupta, for being our guest and honoring us to, invite you as a guest speaker for this Bharatiya Paramparik Gyan series podcast. And we will intend to, invite you again for this session so that everybody can give a motivation force to themselves, as you have told very rightly, that ultimately it is, individual's responsibility. The three, these things, वो आपने पहला बोला ना, गुरु है, फिर माता पिता है, और स्वयं का जो है, वो पहले ही इनिशियली तो स्वयं की जिम्मेदारी हम ले सके, इसलिए we intend to invite you in this podcast series again and again. I'm really thankful to all of you for listening, and the audio sections will be sent to you with the link and other things, so you can share this link to anybody, and to those listeners who will be listening to this podcast also, I'm thankful to them also for that. Thank you very much, Vipin, for this wonderful session.
Thank you, Dhwani. Yes.